Hey, welcome. So, no intro. We're just diving into this. We're doing an ETF breakdown on UGAZ and DGAZ. I get a lot of comments about it. People want to talk natural gas ETFs, so we're going to do that on a more regular basis. Let me know in the comments below if you like this. If you find it super interesting, hit the subscribe button, give me that thumbs up, the like, and let's jump in. So, when you're trading the ETFs, UGAZ and DGAZ, it can be helpful to take a peek at /NG, which you can see here. This is just the natural gas futures. You can also look at UNG, which is the United States Natural Gas Fund, and this is another one that you can look at. The reason, I had a comment on this the other day, they asked why pick UNG over /NG or vice versa, and my response to that is /NG is really nice because futures don't open at 7:30 in the morning Mountain Time or 9:30 Eastern Time. They're open. I mean, you could wake up at 1 o'clock in the morning and there's stuff going on. So you can trade futures anytime you want, but you're also starting to get some levels that start to come in. So if natural gas is moving around early in the morning, sometimes that can help you with plotting your support and resistance lines in order to take an entry. So we're going to look at that today. I want to give you sort of a strategy or a way to approach natural gas and trading UGAZ and DGAZ. And what you can do is, if you look at /NG, you can see what we have here at, probably between 5:30 my time, Mountain Time, and 6 o'clock. We sort of had a pop up and then a sell-off. So I just plotted a line here and here at the top and the bottom of that range. Now it trickled along around 6:30, and then as we got right before the 7 o'clock hour, which would have been right before the 9 o'clock hour on the East Coast, we got another touch with a sell-off, right back down. It slipped a little past at 7, a little past this bottom support level that I've drawn, but then it quickly reclaimed it and started to move back up. Right up here, right before the market opened at 7:23, it popped up, pulled right back, and at 7:25, you had a potential entry spot on UGAZ or DGAZ. I'm going to show you which one. Because based on this here, let's go ahead and let's draw some circles here so you can see them and remember them. So right here, that's one touch. We got another touch down here. We actually got another one here. We came back up. We touched there. We came down. This whole thing was kind of a touch. And then right before the market opened, we got another one right there. So with this one, I'm going to zoom in just a little bit more. If you would have seen this and said, okay, there's a strong possibility that natural gas /NG, the futures, is going to move back down to the bottom of this range. So when you're trading ETFs, UGAZ moves in the same direction as /NG. Now there's an inverse ETF called DGAZ, and you trade DGAZ as a way of shorting because you can't short UGAZ. So if I type in UGAZ, the ETF, you can see that you are not able, if we go back to the open, so right here, right before the open, you can't short this. You can't short UGAZ. You can't short the ETF. So you have to go to its inverse partner, which is DGAZ. So DGAZ right before the open today, you can see what we were watching, and let me go ahead and move myself out of the way here and zoom out just a tiny bit. So on /NG, where we were showing at the top of that peak, where it was about to start heading down, that is this related point on DGAZ, the inverse ETF. So right in here, you could have said with some fairly decent confidence that we were going to move up as the ETF opened up, and that's exactly what happened. So let's go back to /NG and let's talk about it one more time. So /NG spent some time setting up some pretty important points along its path early this morning. And again, that's the advantage of the future, because you can watch it from 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m., and you can see what it's been doing. And if it starts to set up support and resistance lines, you can use those moving forward. Whereas if you use United Gas, UNG, I just don't use this one as much. Yeah, you have sort of a shorter period of time. You can't go all the way back, because at 5:30 Mountain Time, 7:30 Eastern Time is when you start getting some data that's coming out for the pre-market. So if I go to /NG and we look at this right here, you can see that in the pre-market, before the stock market opened, you were starting to get levels. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 levels came in before the market opened. So you had ample time to assess this and say, I know what I'm going to do here, and that is I want to take this short. But you can't short from here. You have to go long, and you do that on the inverse ETF called DGAZ. Right here. This came down. You could have gone long right here before the market opened, and then let's go ahead and put in a line here. You could have then pushed back up, because you can see this spike here. You could have drawn a line through here and set that up just like that. Let's make that a little bit thicker so you can see it. We'll leave it purple, but we'll do this. So you could have bought here and then conservatively said, okay, because of all these touches in here, I'm going to sell my position when I get up into this 172, 173 area. So your entry could have been around 169, and your exit could have been right around 173. So you could have had a $4 move on this ETF this morning if you had just been watching /NG and just put together a basic trading plan. And remember, if you do take an entry on something like this, you need to make sure that you have your absolute stop loss, your basement level. So with DGAZ, if you took this long, you'd want to say, okay, well, where do I think that this is not a good idea anymore? And you might say, well, if it breaks down below, here's a little tiny baby pivot right in there, you could probably say, okay, I might give it down to 167.50. You'll give it a little stop loss there, just so that you don't get stuck in something that you don't want to hold the bag as it's going down. And again, don't take my advice on where to get in and get out. Just use this information as general knowledge on how to approach DGAZ and UGAZ using /NG. If you have any questions, leave them below, and let me know if you want me to keep doing natural gas breakdowns. Thank you.